Oh, hi there, how are you? Let me put my wine glass down. This is Ray Flowers, and I'm from BaseballGuys.com. It's Friday, and I got a good response on Thursday to the fact that I chose to do a video blog. So I'll do the same thing again to Friday, run through a few guys that are in the news, and kind of give you my thoughts on them. First off, Johnny Damon. Not going to be back with the Yankees. Really not a place for him to land at this point. Scott Boras continues to try to drum up a lot of looks for his client. It's not happening. The Braves and the Tigers were rumored to be in on the mix with Damon yesterday. Today, both of them say they're out. Not certain where he's going to go. There's some early rumors now, of course, starting that he might go to the Mets. The Mets could use him, obviously, with Beltran missing time because of his knee injury. But when Beltran's back, they've got Francoeur and Jason Bay. That'd be too many outfielders, so I don't see a fit there. Damon's opportunity to sign with the team continues to shrink. We'll just have to wait and see how that situation plays out. Adam LaRoche did sign the deal that was mentioned the other day on BaseballGuys.com. It's a one-year deal worth about $4.5 to $5 million with some incentives. In order to make room on the 40-man roster for LaRoche, the Diamondbacks decided to let go, actually put on designate for assignment, Eric Burns. Burns is in the final year of a 3-year, $30 million deal. He's scheduled to make about $11 million this season. A ton of money for a guy who's only had just over 400 at-bats the past two seasons. Someone will probably take a chance on him because the price will be cheap, but don't expect him to be a 2024 like he was a couple years ago, though it wouldn't be at all surprising that with health, he returned to the realm of respectability. An outfielder who's shot past the realm of respectability and is about ready to challenge, or at least knock on the door of the elite, is Matt Kemp of the Dodgers. Kemp agreed to a deal with the Dodgers for 2 years, $10.95 million, kind of going through the next couple years of the arbitration process. Get that issue out, get him the money he's owed and deserves for his play on the field. Could be a potential 30-30 player this year, one of the top 5 guys off of most fantasy boards this season. Kemp has got a bright future, even if, wink wink, he's not dating Rihanna. That's an inside joke for those of you that follow my Twitter account at baseballguys.com. A lot of back and forth about whether or not the two of them are dating. A lot of photos with Kemp, let's just say, manhandling Rihanna a bit. Still, the word is they're just friends. Friends with benefits, more like it if you ask me. Anyway, back to baseball. Another Dodger in the news is Chad Billingsley. Potential ace for the club. The team is really looking for he and Clayton Kershaw to be that 1-2 lefty punch at the top of the rotation for the next decade, probably. Billingsley's had a nice couple of seasons. He didn't take the step forward that some people had hoped he would take next year. Had another really good year, but not a great one. Dodgers still see a lot of potential there in the youngster. They agreed to a one-year, $3.85 million deal with Billingsley. The hope is that he will really evolve into that staff ace. Even if he's the number 2 guy, that's still a really good price for a youngster who can throw 200 innings with a strikeout an inning, as well as a guy who's got a chance to win 15 games. Good move for the Dodgers. Another pitcher in the news, Ben Sheets. I don't know if Ben Sheets didn't take his lithium, but there's an issue here with Sheets, and that is he's still reportedly holding out for a $10 to $12 million a year, with incentives though, for a 1-year or 2-year deal at that rate. I just don't see how a guy who missed the entire 2009 season with injury, one who hasn't thrown 205 innings since since Brett Bush was president, I think it was 2005 the last time that occurred. I just don't see how he thinks he's worth a $10 million a year contract, even with tons of incentives. About every team in baseball is said to be interested. Actually, it's about 10 to 12 teams, I think, that are in the true mix there. We'll have to wait and see. He's scheduled to throw next Tuesday. A lot of teams will be in attendance, and we'll see how that goes. A pitcher that is also trying to go that route, that is having an open tryout and just showing teams what he still has left, is Derrick Turnbow. Turnbow, as I've said before, you can't teach 95 miles an hour. He's got that now that he's healthy. The question is, can he control his pitches and those pitches inside the strike zone, an issue that's cropped up for him at virtually every stop of his major league career. He's trying to resurrect his career now that he's once again healthy. Again, he's throwing today on Friday to try to prove to teams that he deserves a major league contract. We'll see what comes about, and we'll report it at baseballguys.com when we find out. A few more guys in the news. Orlando Hudson's still looking for a team. The Nationals are still said to be in play here. Kind of an odd move. A lot of talk of moving Christian Guzman to second base. Ian Desmond becoming then the shortstop. If they sign Hudson, that's a good move for the team. A veteran presence, a solid hitter, and a good fielder. Will that, of course, though, stunt the growth of Desmond, who will probably begin the year at AAA? Maybe they just don't feel like he's ready at this point anyway. There is concern about the ability of Guzman to play shortstop, by the way, so it might be better for them to look in a different direction than adding a second baseman to leave Guzman at short. but we'll have to wait and see how that situation plays out. Carlos Delgado, another veteran in the news. A lot of teams are sending scouts down to Puerto Rico to give a look to how his injured hip is responding to the game action. Early reports are not great. He still looks stiff. There's still some things he needs to work on. He'll probably still get that deal, but one doesn't appear like it's coming on the horizon here in the short term because teams just aren't sure of what they've got with him. And then finally, Mike Redmond signed a one-year deal with the Indians. Not a big report, not a big story, except that it might mean something as far as the next up-and-coming great catcher in the American League, and that's Carlos Santana. He had surgery on a hamate bone in his hand I think it was December. Some questions now about whether or not his recovery process is going as smoothly as hoped. Is the Redmond signing, just insurance in case Santana isn't ready? Is it the admission of the Indians that they think the Santana issue will linger the rest of the season? We'll have to wait and see. Bottom line is I still would look for Santana to be up somewhere around the All-Star break, and once he establishes himself at the Major League level, he's got a great opportunity to make everyone there in Cleveland forget about Victor Martinez, and that's saying something. Again, I'm Ray Flowers, BaseballGuys.com. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.